This conference will now be recorded.
The key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. Good evening, everyone. I hope all are doing well. I am Anita from ECE Department of Loyola Institute of Technology. I welcome you all for this wonderful webinar on experimental approach of tuned amplifiers and multivibrators. A day without prayer is a day without blessing, and a life without prayer is a life without power. Now I call upon Ajay and Akash to lead us with a word of prayer. Over to you, Ajay.
Today's Bible reading is taken from the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verses 19. And my God will supply every need of yours, according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Over to you, Akash.
Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Ajay and Akash. Now I call upon Ms. Jeevita to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, Jeevita.
Thank you, Anita. A very good evening to everyone gathered here. I hope everyone is safe and doing good. It's my immense pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. And on behalf of Loyola Institute of Technology, Management, Administrator, Principal Dr. Sujata Anand ma'am, and Vice Principal cum HOD of EC Department, Dr. L. Nalini Joseph ma'am. We wholeheartedly welcome all the participants for this webinar. On behalf of the department, we, the student coordinators, welcome our speaker of today's session, Dr. G. Uday Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of ECE in SRM Valiamma Engineering College, Chennai. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you, sir. Your presence makes us very happy. I am sure we will be able to enrich our knowledge by this webinar titled Experimental Approach of Tuned Amplifiers and Multivibrators. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation even in your busy schedule during this pandemic. We welcome you wholeheartedly for this webinar. In this context, I welcome all the coordinators of this webinar, faculty members of EC department, and professional friends to make this happen. Dear participants, once again, I welcome you all for this wonderful technical day. Thank you. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Jeevita. May I call upon Ms. Sharmila of ECE Department to introduce our speaker. Over to you, Sharmila.
Thank you, Anita. Good evening to all. I am Sharmila. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our resource person, Dr. G. Uday Kumar. He received his doctorate in biomedical image processing from College of Engineering, Anna University, Chennai in the year 2013. He has published papers over 17 international and national journals and presented papers more than 8 international and national conferences. He delivered lecture on various topics in AICTE sponsored short term training programs. He organized many conferences, seminars, and symposiums at national level for faculty members, research scholars, and students. He is a life member in various professional societies such as ISTE, IETE, CSI, ISEA, IAENG, and IACSIT. Currently, he is working as Associate Professor in the Department of ECE in SRM Valiamma Engineering College, Chennai. He has more than 16 years of experience in teaching field. His area of specialization are embedded system, biomedical signal, and image processing. Now, he is with us to make the session more interesting and knowledgeable. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and giving your precious time for us. We all are eagerly awaiting for your wonderful session, sir. Sir, the stage is yours. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Sharmila. If you want to succeed, focus on changing yourself, not others. The most awaited session of the day, Let us go to enhance knowledge in experimental approach of tuned amplifiers and multivibrators. I request Dr. G. Uday Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, SRM Valiam Engineering College, Chennai, to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
So good evening, one and all. Am I audible? Whether the screen is visible now? Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good evening, one and all. First of all, I thank Dr. Nalini Joseph, Vice Principal and HOD of EC Department, so inviting me to deliver some topics on electronic circuits too. Okay. So mostly based on asked to deliver examination oriented pattern of annual examinations. Okay. Because the annual we are going to conduct like open book test. Okay. So in open book test, they won't ask any direct questions. Indirectly, mainly they may ask, and particularly and based on the problems. Okay. If you go for this subject, especially for tuned amplifier and multivibrators, so plenty of choices are there. They ask problems or design oriented problems or etc. So I'm going to give only some brief introduction or about this tuned amplifier and multivibrators, because this 1 hour 15 minutes duration is not at all sufficient to cover everything, because if we take the single tuned amplifier, if we discuss the problem on single tuned amplifiers, or if we discuss the problem on our multivibrators, nearly it will take 1 period or 1.5 periods like that. Okay. So anyway, just I will give some brief introduction, or anyway I'll go some fast. Okay, if you have some doubt on the interrupt and ask me, so I will clear them. Okay. So I hope everyone knows about the concept of this tuned amplifier and multivibrators. Okay, so only I can refresh it and go fast. Then only we'll discuss something. Oh, they are asking. Okay, so everything is simple. They won't ask extraordinary. Okay, okay, they won't ask any extraordinary. So based on the books only, they will ask. Only thing they have to change some parameter values. Okay, they have to change some resistor values or some capacitor values or some design values. Okay, like that. Likewise, only they will ask. Okay, because you are all undergraduate student, they won't ask. Okay, don't expect much more. Okay, so first we'll discuss about some concept of tuned amplifiers and then move on to multivibrator. So these are all the topics that are covered in tuned amplifier, that is coil losses and okay, loaded and unloaded quality factor of tank circuits on small signal tuned amplifier, double tuned amplifier, and effect of cascading single tune and double tune amplifiers and stagger tune and stability and neutralization. Okay. So these are only these topics. Okay. Okay. Mostly the students I may focus on the derivations on small signal, that is called single tune and double tune. Okay. And rarely they will go for this other type. Okay. So if you study in single tune and double tune derivation, especially derivation, definitely you can attend. Okay. But in open book examinations, we can't, and they won't ask any derivations. Okay, they won't ask any derivations. So only thing they may ask some problems or differences like that, like analytical oriented, like design oriented. Okay, likewise only they will going to ask. Okay? Just for recapping, this is about tuned parallel circuits. You know that. So what you mean by tuned circuits? Okay, it can be used to, that means what, amplify the only the particular range of frequencies or to reject about other range of frequencies. That is called tuned circuits. So mostly we are using what that is called parallel connection, LNC or parallel connection. That's why they call it tuned parallel circuit. So for that we can calculate resonant frequency using this formula f naught equal to 1 divided by 2 pi square root of LC. So these formulas are very, very important. If you know the formulas, then only you can able to attend the problem very easily, even for the gate examination or whatever it may be. So first understand the concept, and also you can by heart in some important formulas. Okay, by heart and some important formula. Okay, if it is a tuned LC circuit or tank circuit, the resonance frequency formula is 1 divided by 2 pi square root of LC. Okay. So based on that, they may ask whether the circuit act as the resistive one or inductive one or capacitive one. Okay. So when omega equal to omega naught, that resonance, that is called resonance frequency. The resonance frequency means the so the only at the amplitude is maximum only at resonance frequency. You can look at here. So only this is for actual response, that is practical circuit. But in the case of ideal response is like that. Okay. So that means what amplitude is maximum for particular bandwidth. Okay. This is called ideal response. We can't get like this. Okay. Okay. Actually, we get like this only. Okay. That means what amplitude is maximum only at resonance frequency. Okay. So before before omega naught, the frequency exists, that is called WL, that is called lower cutoff frequency, and after W naught, that is called what, higher cutoff frequency or upper cutoff frequency. So difference between that upper cutoff frequency and lower cutoff frequency, that is called what, bandwidth. So in order to get bandwidth, so you can lower down the 3 dB. Okay, you have to lower down the 3 dB of that maximum voltage at resonance frequency. Okay, the 2 points will cut. Based on that, we'll mark the lower cutoff frequency and upper cutoff frequency. From that, we'll calculate the bandwidth. Okay. So W greater than omega naught, the circuit acts as a capacity one. That means the current leads the applied voltage. When omega less than omega naught, the circuit acts as inductive one, in which the currents lags behind the applied voltage. Okay. So these are all very, very important. They may ask 2 more questions or multiple choice questions. Okay. So if you refer any gate questions, definitely one question based on this. Okay, whether the circuit going to act as either capacitive one or inductive one or resistive one. Okay, so based on this formula, you can calculate F naught, and then for given frequency, you can find whether the circuit is going to act as a capacitive or inductive. So next, quality factor. So based on the quality factor only, so we can select a particular tuned amplifier, because if the quality factor is high, okay, then only what selectivity is very high. Okay, that means what, narrow band of frequencies. Okay, narrow band of frequencies. So particularly the tuned amplifier, mostly we can prefer for the narrow band of frequencies. Okay, if you look at the radio channel or FM, that is called 98.3 or 93.5. Okay, so that means what, only that particular frequency, that amplitude is maximum, there is no distortion. Okay, if you go behind and after, there may be some distortion. Okay. So in order to select, in order to find the quality factor is what very, very important. So based on the circuit, you can calculate the quality factor. That means what, definitely based on what, L and C and R. That is called inductance and capacitance and resistance. Okay. So the definition is the ratio of impedance of the coils to its resistance. Okay. If you have some inductance, there may be some leakage resistance. There may be some leakage. Okay. There is not a pure impedance. Okay, there's not a pure impedance. So that we can find a quality factor. If it is a pure impedance, the quality factor is what, infinity. But it's not like that. So that it may have some resistance or the, okay. So that quality factor definition 2 pi into maximum energy stored per cycle divided by energy dissipated per cycle. Okay. So maximum energy stored per cycle, that is based on inductors. Energy dissipation, that is called heat dissipation per cycle, it's called because we did the word resistance. So there is a formula based on that you can solve the dissipation factor. This is nothing but inversely proportional to quality factor. We can that is referred as total loss within a component. So again, this is the formula. Again, the Q factor of an inductors and Q factor of an capacitors. If it is a series connection, the quality factor is omega L by R. If it is a parallel connection, that is L and R in parallel connection, the quality factor is Q equal to R by omega L. Similarly, for the resistor and capacitor are in series, the quality factor is 1 divided by omega C R. Okay, when resistors and capacitor are in parallel connection, the quality factor is what omega C R. So these four formulas are very important. Okay. So in examination, the many of the students got confusing. Okay, whether which one formula will come like this. So that's why you can while studying you can do some comparisons. Okay. So there is a better way to study to get full marks in the examination. To won't do any mistake in the examinations. Okay. So this is for a series connection Q omega L by R. So you know that omega is standing for the frequency, that is called radian frequency in radians. The W equal to 2 pi f. Okay, f is number of frequency, yes. Okay, and this is for parallel connection. These formulas are very important. So particularly if you know the formulas, then only you can able to solve the problem very quickly. Okay. And loaded, unloaded, and quality factors. So unloaded means so without connecting any load resistance, without connecting any external load. Okay, that is called loaded quality factors. So just before we discussing, that is called unloaded quality factors, that is called maximum energy stored per cycle divided by energy dissipated per cycle in tank circuit. Okay, but in case of loaded quality factor, energy dissipated per cycle in tank circuit, that is called due to leakage resistance, and energy dissipated per cycle due to the external load. That means what externally we are collecting the what load to the particular circuit. Okay, so that is called loaded quality factors. For the loaded quality factors, we can find equivalent resistance. So that is called RP equal to RP parallel or external. RP parallel or external. From that, you can find the quality factor. Again, this is the formula. Okay, next. Based on we can find the bandwidth. The bandwidth is resonant frequency divided by quality factors. So these are all what interrelation between bandwidth, resonant frequency, and the quality factors. So if you based on this, if the bandwidth is very low, bandwidth is very low, quality factor is very high. Okay, if the bandwidth is very high, the quality factor is very slow. So that means what bandwidth and quality factor are inversely proportional. Bandwidth and quality factor are inversely proportional. Okay, for in the case of tuned amplifier, so mostly we can design what with high quality value. Okay, high quality factor value. Okay, so that is called narrow band of frequencies. Narrow band of frequencies or narrow range of frequencies. Okay. So next, coming to this, the small signal tuned amplifiers. So in order to obtain a large voltage, because the voltage gain is very low, if you because it especially can be used for only the small signal frequency application. It cannot be used for a large signal application. So the only we can go for this called class A amplifier, class B, and class A, B, and class C like that. Okay, for tuned amplifier can be used only for the small frequency applications. So in order to obtain a large voltage gain, for that you can use the number of tuned amplifier stages in cascade. Okay. So this cascade tuned amplifier, the single tune amplifier, double tune amplifier, or stagger tune amplifiers. And single tune means one parallel resonance circuit has load impedance in each state, and all tuned circuits are tuned at the same frequency. Double tune, that is called two inductively coupled tuned circuits. So in that case, we are using the word transformer coupled in the case of double tuned amplifiers. And stagger means use of number of single tuned stages in cascade. It's not like a double tune. Okay, that means we can use two single tuned stages in cascade, but operate with different resonant frequencies, and based on the combination we'll get very good, very high bandwidth. Okay, very high bandwidth. So in order to increase, in order to get overall voltage. Yes, yes, ma'am. So this called capacitance coupled single tune amplifiers. Okay, these are circuits. So for designing of the single tune amplifier, you must know something called low signal equivalent model. That is called hybrid pi model. Okay, based on this only they derive. That is called based on interjection capacitance between base to collector, between base to emitters, and between collector to emitter, and along with wiring capacitance or stray capacitance. So based on that only it will be, everything is going to be derived. Okay, we won't see like that because so because of time, but this is all a very important formula. Okay, for solving the problem, what they say, designing the problem based on this single tune. So here. Here, this is the formula for converting. This is called, because if you have any tuned circuit or tank circuit, so L and C are in parallel. L and C are in parallel. Okay, if you take some impedance, it may have some leakage resistance. It may have some leakage resistance, that is called R. So for designing what you have to convert this L and R in series into parallel. That is called LP into R. So these are the formulas. So they have some derivations. You have to find the admittance of this series connection of L and R, and find admittance of parallel connection of L and R, and then make comparison. Based on this, we can we'll get this RP equal to R square plus omega square squared by R. LP equal to here R is nothing but series resistors, RP is parallel resistors. So in some book they may use R subscript S. Okay, okay, R subscript S. Okay, otherwise if you are not mentioned by default, it will take what RS. Okay, so RP equal to R square plus omega square L square by R. But approximately we can write RP approximately equal to omega square L square by R, and LP approximately equal to L. Okay. So this nothing but conversion of that is called a series connection of L and R to parallel connection of L and R. Okay, using these two formulas. Okay, and you have to find a equivalent resistance by 1 by RT, that is called total equivalent resistance, because some output resistance. So output resistance based on that is called is GCE or 1 by HRE, that is equal to R naught output resistance, and RP is nothing but this is called parallel resistance, and RI is nothing but input resistance of next state. So again this is the word formula. Okay, and this is what effective quality factors, susceptance of inductance or capacitance to the conductance of shunt resistance, that is called RT. Okay, so we can write that is Q equal to omega naught C into RT divided by RT divided by omega naught. Again, so I'm not going in depth to the derivation, just I'm you placing some formulas. Okay, because if you know these formulas, then only you can able to solve everything, otherwise very difficult. Okay. So again, based on this, you can calculate output voltage V naught minus GM into VB dash into Z. And this del is nothing but frequency deviation that will be calculated between operating frequency and resonance frequency. So based on that, you can find impedance RT divided by 1 plus J into 2 Q into Q is about effective quality factors, and del is called the frequency deviation. Okay. At omega equal to omega naught, that means what del equal to 0. Okay, at del equal 0, and so impedance is that it will become what that is called L by CR. Okay, at resonance frequency, that impedance is equal to L by CR. Is that equal to L by CR? So again, this also formula. Okay. At resonance, again, RP can be expressed as these are some of the formulas. RP equal to omega naught square L square divided by R. Q naught equal to omega naught L by R, or Q naught square equal to omega naught square L square by R, and RP equal to Q naught square R equal to omega naught into L into Q naught. Okay, if you refer some problem, you can know this. So what is use of this? So you should by her this formula. Okay, so if you want to understand the concept, you can go for step by step derivations. They given in the book that is called Solivagna. So this is the formula. Okay, if you know the formula, then only you can able to solve this problem. Okay, and Q0 is about resonance frequency, quality factor at resonance frequency, and Q is in fact quality of the coil alone at resonance. Okay. So based on that, we can find the ratio of gain to that the gain to the resonance frequency will get like this. So based on that, we can plot it. Okay. So that is called a single tune amplifier plotting. Okay. So this is called bandwidth. Del W equal to bandwidth. The bandwidth is omega naught divided by QE. Okay, effective quality factor, and omega naught is what resonance frequency. So this is our double tune amplifiers. So that we are using the transformer that is called mutual inductance. So derivation everything the same. Okay, everything the same. But they won't ask any problem based on this because it will take more time or okay. Just you can understand the concept for a single tune amplifier. 3 dB bandwidth is omega naught by Q, and double tune amplifier which is going to multiply with that means what it increases the bandwidth. Okay, in double tuned amplifier compared to single tune, the bandwidth is increased. So that is this omega naught Q is going to multiply by a factor, that is b square minus 1 into the plus or minus b. Okay, so for that we can select a proper value of the b. So b is chosen based on what the critical value of the coefficients between that coupling coefficient between that between the transformers, so that and the b values can be chosen. So b lesser than 0.414, no real values of bandwidth are possible. Okay, suppose if you use more value of the b, the O should also increases. The optimum range is only about between 1 and 1.0. So advantage is it provides larger dB bandwidth. Okay, larger dB bandwidth than single tune amplifier, hence provides a larger gain bandwidth. Okay. And also it provides versus gain versus steeper sides and flatter top. So it looks like a word something called ideal response. Okay. So this for the effect of cascading single tune amplifier. This is the formula. So B1 n is nothing but bandwidth of n stages of single tune amplifier. B1 is nothing but bandwidth of single tune amplifier. And n is about number of stages. So based on that, you can they may ask some problems. Okay, so yeah, 3 stages are used, and bandwidth of single tune amplifier is 500 kilohertz. So what about total bandwidth? Okay, so definitely which is going to be reduced one. Okay, so that here the bandwidth is reduced 64.3% for 2 stages and 51% for 3 stages of cascade. Okay. So the bandwidth is going to be reduced. So if you are going to increase the number of stages of the cascade amplifier. Okay. So in order to maintain a prescribed bandwidth, Q of the tuned circuit should be reduced. Okay, something that is called vice versa. And double tuned amplifier 1 by 4. Here look at a B2 into B2 denotes a double tune, that is bandwidth of double tuned amplifier, and B21 denotes that is called bandwidth of cascaded double tune amplifier. Okay, bandwidth of cascaded double tune amplifier. N is number of stages 1 by 4. Here 1 by 2. That is called 1 by that is called 1 by root 2, square root of 1 by root 2. Okay. So double tune means 1 by 4. And the stagger tuned amplifier. So you are using tuned circuit 1, tuned circuit 2. So different resonance frequencies. So based on that, we'll get resultant response. Okay. So comparatively, we'll get, because in the double tune, if you are go for double tune, the alignment of the double tune amplifier is very difficult. That is a drawback of double tune amplifier. So that we can go for the stagger tune amplifiers. Okay. Here the resonance frequencies are displayed for this. Resonance frequency display, so this, that's why it's called stagger tune. And stability of tuned amplifier, particularly for at high frequencies. Okay, at high frequencies, that reactance at the base and the base of the range is low enough to, so that it may have some feedback. It may have some feedback through this junction capacitor. It is base to collector, base base to collector capacitance. So in order, what will happen is going to act as a oscillation, not an amplifier. So if it is going to act as oscillation, that means it will become what? Unstable one. It will become what? Unstable. So particularly what very high frequencies. So in order to avoid that, you can go for neutralization, ascertain neutralization. There are many methods. Is that this is one of the few methods. So just you can compensate this. Just compensate of this CBC. Okay, that is compensate of this CBC, so that you can make connection like this. So in order to maintain the stability, you can go for this ascertain neutralization. Just that's all about the theory. Just give only the small introduction, some important formulas. So these are from okay, they have some 2 marks problems and they marks like that. So calculate the bandwidth of tuned amplifier as its maximum gain at a frequency of 2 megahertz and a quality factor of 40. So the bandwidth is formula is F naught by Q. So this is the formula, bandwidth equal to F naught by Q. So F naught is nothing but there is 2, they given is what 2 megahertz and Q is what 40. Okay, so maximum gain at a frequency, that is called resonance frequency. Maximum gain at a resonance frequency of 2 megahertz, that is called resonance frequency. So resonance frequency was 2 megahertz and the quality factor value is what 40. So that will get 50 kilohertz. So similarly, they may ask vice versa. They may given bandwidth and resonance frequency. They may ask quality factors. Okay. So likewise, they may ask. So if you know the formulas, A, B, C, they may given A and B. They may ask calculate C. Sometimes they may given B and C. They may ask calculate A. Likewise. Okay. So if you know the formulas and based on that values, you can derive. I can derive remaining parameter value. Okay. You can calculate the remaining parameter value. So this is another one problem. A parallel resonance circuit has a capacitor of 100 picofarad and an inductor of 100 microhenry. The inductor has a resistance of 5 ohm. So find the resonance frequency and also calculate circuit impedance. This is what direct formula. Resonance frequency F naught equal to 1 by tau by square root of LC. They given L is 100 microhenry and C is 100 picofarad. So directly we calculate F naught. And circuit impedance at the resonance, that is Z equal to L by S. Yeah. So already I told you know. So if you know the formula, so directly you can substitute L by C. So likewise, they lost. Okay. Okay. They may ask either this problem. They may ask either 4 marks or 6 marks, or even some 2 marks. Because if they ask only this, they may ask 2. If, along with they ask find what circuit impedance also. So definitely they may ask in what 4 marks. Okay, definitely they may ask in 4 marks. Okay. So it means circuit impedance and resonance. Okay. So evaluate RP and RS of inductors. They given L equal to 250 microhenry and Q is they given 300 at 1 megahertz. 300 at 1 megahertz. Okay. So you can calculate this using this formula. First of all, you can calculate Q naught. So if you know the Q naught, that is called quality factor at resonance, that is omega naught L by R. So that we can substitute on this formula R is equal to omega naught L by Q naught. So substitute and get like this 5.235. Similarly for derived what RP. Okay. So R is nothing but leakage resistance of inductance. So RP is nothing but parallel resistance. So that if you convert that is inductors and resistor or series which is going to convert in parallel form. So that is called parallel resistor. Okay, this RS never series resistors with inductor. RP is what parallel resistors with inductor. So this is a formula we can. Okay. So these are all what this is not a 2 mark. Definitely they may ask the 4 marks or 6 marks only. One so already I told you know. So only that formulas are very important. Also you know that so what is that Q naught, what is omega naught, and what is L and what is or like that. Okay. So everything they based on this formula. Okay. So this Q naught equal to omega naught L by S, so that we can get RS equal to omega naught L by Q naught, because they given omega naught and they given Q and also they given L. So directly you can substitute 2 pi into 1 megahertz 250 microhenry divided by quality factor or 300. So that will get 5. Similarly for this. Okay, this is the formula RP equal to omega naught into L into Q naught. So that will get this. Okay. Sometimes they given resonance frequency and they given interactivity, they may ask what C value. Okay. They given F naught and L, they may ask to derive what C value. Okay. So likewise only they will ask. Okay. So ரொம்ப ஈஸியா தான் கேட்பாங்க. They won't ask difficult one. Okay, they will ask only simple and moderate only. Okay. Again, the find the inductance value with leakage resistance of 15.9 ohm with a quality factor of 100 and frequency 1 megahertz. Again, same formula. They may ask what now L. They given Q omega naught and R. Directly you can substitute 100 watt inductance value. So this is the formula they asked all four, because this may ask in either dot P. Okay, because the four subdivisions are, they asked to determine resonance frequency, impedance and resonance, and quality factors, and bandwidth. Okay, yes. So everything is a formula. If you know the formula, it's very simple. Okay, nothing is there. So only the formula and the direct substitution, and also do practices in the calculators. Okay, so in daily, that means what, you can do some practices with some problems, okay, based on some example problems with calculators. So many of you just are gone through the book or without solving this. Okay, without solving this, so you have to solve this problem in your home with calculators. That's what good practice. Then only you can able to solve the problem in semester examination. Then only get very good marks. Okay. Okay, many of it told that I did correctly, but I won't get marks because of they made some simple mistakes, some silly mistakes are there. Okay, some silly mistakes. That's why you should do some lots of practices in a home with calculator. Okay. So this another problem. A 1 millihenry coil with Q equal to 100 is used in tuned amplifier. The transistor has, okay, the transistor has something called and R naught equal to 100 kilo ohm, and input beta equal, that is times beta equal to 100 and R naught equal to 100 kilo ohm, and input resistance R equal to RB parallel RB equal to 10 kilo ohm, and determine the value of tuning capacitance such that amplifier has a maximum gain at F naught equal to 50 kilohertz. Also calculate the value of the gain for the given L equal to 1 millihenry, and determine the bandwidth of the amplifier. Okay, determine this what again it's about part B questions. So again they given Q equal to 100, F naught equal to 50 kilohertz, and L equal to 1 millihenry. So F naught equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of LC. Based on this, you can derive what L, because they given L and F naught. From that, you can derive the C, and also calculate the value of this gain. So value of the gain means, so this using this formula, AV equal to minus beta into Ri into RT. Okay, so RT is nothing but R naught parallel RP parallel and RL. Okay, RP. So R naught parallel RP parallel, R naught is output resistance. Say they given R naught. Okay, here they given R naught, that is called 100 kilo ohm. Okay, and RP parallel and RL, that is called here RL is not given. RL is not given no load case, so that you consider what infinity. So if you take parallel, it will give what infinity. That's 1 by RT equal to, in parallel connection, 1 by RT equal to 1 by R naught plus 1 by RP plus 1 by RL. So 1 by infinity, that is called 0. So that remaining things what RT equal to R naught parallel RP. So here RP is not given. So because of using this formula, you can calculate RP. Okay, using this formula, because they were given only what series resistance. Okay, so that using this formula, first you calculate the series resistance based on that quality factor and resonance frequency in inductor. You can find the series resistance value. The series 3.14 ohm. From that you can calculate RP. From that you can calculate RP. Ri they given, that is called okay. Ri they given, that is called 10 kilo ohm. RP parallel RP, that is called 10 kilo ohm. Directly you can substitute. That's all. Okay. So minus beta is 100. RT is calculated at 23.9 divided by Ri. That is 10 kilo ohm. We'll get what? Minus 239. So you look at here, everything is the formula. Like everything is the formula. Okay. So if you know the formula, then only you can able to solve this. Under before that, so first you understand the concept and by heart the formulas. Okay, by heart the formula. Okay, then only you can able to solve this problem. Okay. And second one, that is determine the bandwidth of the. So for that, you can find Q naught for RP is 23.9 and omega naught and L. So Q naught L 76.01. From that, we can calculate bandwidth. So bandwidth equal to resonance frequency divided by Q naught, that is called 657.2 meters. Okay. So that's all about this problem. Okay. And it's another problem. Okay, it's again this question they may ask in part C also. Okay, a single tune RF amplifier as transistors. Okay, they're given some specifications: output capacity, input resistance, and tunes again 50 picofarad capacitance in parallel with series combination 1 meg. Okay, they given and formulate the resonance frequency, effective quality factor, and bandwidth of the amplifier. So that they given. So given R naught equal 50, C naught 10, R equal 10, C equal to 50, and L equal to 1 microvolt, R equal to 5. So C equivalent C naught plus C. Okay, so that you can F naught equal 1 by 2 pi square root of L into C equivalent. Suppose if they given some junction capacitance CBC like that. So in that case also you can add with C naught plus C plus CB dash C or like that. Okay. So from that you can calculate the resonance frequency. From okay, if you know the resonance frequency, you can calculate the effective quality factors, and then you can calculate that is called total equivalent resistance because R naught they given RP and R. Okay. So directly you can R3 RP based on this formula you can calculate this. Okay, RP equal to using this form, that is omega square L square by R, and RT they be calculated using this. Okay, 1 by R naught plus 1 by RP plus 1 by RI. Okay, 1 by RI. So okay, if you know that RT, and then you can calculate this effective quality factors, and that from that you can calculate a resonance bandwidth, sorry, and from there you can calculate bandwidth. So using this formula, okay, everything, okay. So nothing is there, only this formula. Say some likewise they may given, okay, some they may given bandwidth and quality factors. Okay, some other factor they may also derive L and C value, L and C R value. Okay, so likewise they may ask. Okay, so whatever may be, so in many whatever may be, first of all you should understand the concept and then use this formula. That's all. Okay, if you know the concept, if you know the formulas, it's very easy to solve this problem. Nothing is there. Okay, okay, nothing is there in particularly for unit 3, that is tuned amplifiers. Okay. This for based on that is problem on based on the cascader, the bandwidth for single tuned amplifier 20 kHz. Find the number of stages required to design a bandwidth of 87 kHz to obtain a very high. They asked what number of stages, that is called n, small n. They given B1n and they given B1, and they asked to find n, small n. Okay. Similarly, determine the bandwidth of 4-stage cascaded single tone amplifier if the bandwidth is 60 kHz. Okay. Similarly for double tuned also, indirectly they may ask determine the bandwidth of 3-stage cascade tuned amplifier if the resonance frequency is 455 kHz and loaded quality of each stage is 10. Okay, they are not given bandwidth. So based on resonance frequency and quality factor, you can calculate the bandwidth. You know the formula. Okay, that is called bandwidth equal to resonance frequency divided by quality factors. So that using this formula, you can calculate the bandwidth. From that, you can calculate this. Okay, a bandwidth of 3 stages cascaders single tune up. Okay, this is called indirect one. Okay, so likewise, they may ask. Okay, so that's all about this unit 3 and unit 4. Okay. These are all topics we are going to wave shaping and multi-vibrator circuits. Okay, up to this, you have any doubts? Okay, or shall I proceed? Proceed, sir. Okay. So again, these are all the topics we are going to discuss. Pulse circuit is a general thing. Okay. Alternators, RC integrated differentiator circuits, diode clampers and clippers, multi-vibrator splitter, and UJT oscillator or blocking oscillators. So first, compensator alternator. It's alternator is a device which is used to reduce the amplitude of the signal waveform. Okay, actually they have some load resistance, for example RL. Okay, they have along with one some stray capacitance are there. Okay, so if there is load resistance with some stray capacitance are there. So in order to avoid that, some stray capacitor, you can use adjustable capacitor that is called C1. So that is the formula. Okay, using this to compensate these alternators. Okay, so based on that R2 we can compensate them. Okay, but based on the capacity it is very difficult to compensate. Okay, so that we are going to use what adjustable capacitor. So when C1 is greater than Cp, this is called overcompensation. That is called V0 0 plus and V0 of infinity is called V0 0 plus. It is greater than, and this is called V0 of infinity. It is called initial stage and this is called final state. Okay, final state is called overcompensation. Suppose if V0 of 0 initial value is lesser than that final state value, that is called undercompensation. So both are equal, that is called what? Perfect compensation. That both are equal, that is called perfect compensation. Okay, that is fluid what some stray capacitance. Okay, actually if you have some load resistance side like R2 or anything, okay, then there may be some stray capacitance. So okay, definitely they may exist. Okay, especially for okay, so in order it's very simple. They may ask, okay, why you going to keep time constant very low to avoid distortion? Okay, if I keep time constant very large, like in that case, what will happen? There may be some distortion exists. Okay, there may be some distortion exists. Okay, in order to avoid that only we can go for this type of circuits. So next, high pass RC circuit, differentiating circuits. Differentiating means series capacitor and shunt resistor. Okay, series capacitor, shunt resistor. So Xc equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc. Xc decreases with increasing F. Increasing F. Therefore, at high frequency, the capacitor acts as short circuit. Hence, all other high frequency components appear at output with less attenuation than the lower frequency component. Okay. So in high pass RC circuit, series capacitor and shunt resistor. Series capacitor and shunt resistor. So based on this about formula to find the gain and phase response, A equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 plus F1 by F whole square. F1 nothing but the lower cutoff frequency. The formula is F1 equal to 1 by 2 pi RC. 1 by 2 pi RC. Now we are giving the response of RC hypothesis step input. So if you give step input, the output will come V into e power minus t by RC. So along with we'll get something called tilt in time, that is sag in time. Okay, some tilt will be produced in the output, so that we'll get how to find the tilt percentage mean T1 by R1 into C1 into 100. Okay, so that is P equal to T divided by 2 T divided by 2 into R1 into C1, that is T1 equal to T by 2 into 100, that is called 1 by TF, because T equal to 1 by F, so that we get 1 by 2F into R1 into C1 into 100, that is we get pi F1 divided by F into 100%. So duty cycle formula T1 divided by T, again this is the formula. So if you know this formula, you can calculate some problem. Okay, and duty cycle T1 divided by T. On some book they are given T of divided by T. Okay, both are correct. Okay. This is what response of RC high pass filter pulse input. The pulse input means we will give this input. Okay. Step input means, that means what? You know that step input E of t equal to 1 for t greater than equal to 0, or E of t equal to 1 for t greater than equal to 0. That is called step input. So pulse input means for only the pulse particular duration up to tp. So that 0 less than t less than tp, v into e power minus t by RC. After that, it will be decay. Okay. This is for RC greater than RC is nothing but time constant. When RC greater than TP, we will get circuit will get like this. When RC lesser than TP, it will like what differentiating circuit. So in lab also, if you are going for a differentiate an high pass circuit, the time constant should be, that means what, lesser than T. Okay, time you can keep the time constant less time constant. RC is what time constant lesser than TP. That means that RC by TP lesser than 1. So these are all what condition. These are all very important questions. Suppose if you are going to attend any core companies, especially for chip based companies, okay, these are all the basic questions. And this for square waveform, actually lab you are doing, no. So in a differentiator circuit, if you are giving the square wave, you'll get something called positive spike and negative spike. Okay, only for RC by T lesser than 1. Okay, so you have to keep the time constant should be lesser than 1. RC by T lesser than 1. Okay, and when the ramp waveform transmitter, okay, suppose if you are transmitting the ramp waveform, in that transmission error will be generated. The transmission error between about input and output, that is you know that ramp input, okay, ramp input, okay, R of T equal to T, okay, R of T equal to T. So that here the error, transmission error, that becomes T divided by 2 into RC, that is called what? Pi into F1T, pi into F1T. For RC by T greater than 1, that is P naught into alpha T. For RC by lesser than 1, we'll get V naught of T RC into alpha. So alpha denotes what? The slope of the ramp signal. Next, low pass RC circuit. Low pass circuit, series resistor and shunt capacitor. Series resistor and shunt capacitor. In the case of high pass RC circuit and differentiator circuit, series capacitor and shunt resistor. Here, series resistor and shunt capacitor. Same thing, that X equal 1 by 2 pi FC. X decreases with increasing F. But here, at DC or at very low frequency, Xc become infinity because the shunt capacitor act as an open circuit. Because the capacitor is connected with shunt, so that at very low frequency, that Xc becomes infinity. Okay, Xc becomes infinity. So that here gain is nothing but 1 divided by 1 plus square root of F by F2 whole square. But in the case of differentiator, F1 by F whole square. F1 by F1, okay, here 1 F by F2 whole square. Okay, don't confuse with that differentiator circuit and integrated circuit. So, okay, while studying, you do some comparison, put one table and then make a comparison, then do the study. Okay, that's what good practice. Generally, you'll get a clear idea about it. So gain is 1 divided by square root of 1 plus F by F2 whole square. F2 is same thing, 1 by 2 pi RC. That is called what? Upper cutoff frequency. F2 to know upper cutoff frequency. From that, you can calculate phase response. Okay. Similarly, for response of RC low pass with the step input. Okay, step input. So you have calculate the rise time. So between the 10% to 10% 90%, calculate the rise time. So T to 90% T1 and sample phase run, we calculate 2.2 RC. So RC equal to 1 by 2 pi F2. So TR equal rise time equal to 2.2 divided by 2 pi F2 or 0.35 divided by F2 or 0.35 divided by bandwidth. Similarly, for time delay, that is 50%. Okay, we are going to consider what the 50% for. So that 0.7 into RC. Okay, 0.7 into RC, that is called 0.7 divided by 2 pi F2. 0.7 divided by 2 pi F2, that is called 0.11 divided by F2. Okay, this is called so 50%. We are okay here, and rise time we are going to consider between, that is 10% and 90%. Here rise time, the delay time we consider what up to, that is 100% to 50%. That is called, we'll get 0.7 into RC, that is called 0.11 divided by F. Again, this is the formula. Okay, if you know the formula, then you can able to solve this problem. Okay, again, and this was square wave. For in the integrated circuits, if we give square wave, we get what? A triangular waveform. For the triangular wave, in order to get triangular waveform, so the RC by T will be keep greater than 1. The times constant, that is RC by T, should keep greater than 1. But in the case of differentiator, you should keep RC by T lesser than 1. Here you have to keep RC time constant should be greater than T. RC by T greater than RC by T greater than 1. Okay, this is what important condition of this. Okay, then we will get what triangular waveform. Similarly, for ramp input, again the transmission error will be calculated. We'll get RC by T. RC by T. And this, you know that the clippers, positive clipper and negative clippers. So again, this is what very simple. So clipping some positive portion and negative portions. Okay, negative clipper. Okay, so if you know that concept, if you know the concept, then only you can able to solve this problem, because sometimes they may, this is called the biased positive clippers. Okay, here I am considering only for ideal cases. Ideal cases means I am consider cut-in voltage is equal to 0. Okay, practically the cut-in voltage of 0.6 volt or 0.7 volt. So here the reference voltage VR equal to either 2 volts or 3 volt like this. So If it is at 2 volts, if it is greater than 2 volts, then only what it won't work. Okay. So that before 2, that is what below 2 it will work. Okay. Below 2 it will work. After 2 it won't work. Okay. So this called biased positive clippers, and this called biased positive with reverse polarity of the battery. Reverse polar, and this called biased negative clippers. Biased negative clippers. Just if you see in the circuit, you'll get an idea. Okay. For seeing the circuit, you can draw the output waveforms. Okay, these are biased negative clippers, and biased negative clipper with reverse polarity of the battery. Reverse polarity of the battery, so that output will get. We are about a reference. Okay. Next, a combination clippers. So clipping both positive part as well as the negative part. Negative part. It's about nothing but 2-level slicer. So here VB2 greater than VB1, that is nothing but 2 levels per. So that's why it's called wave shaping. That means one the signals are lowered between these two ranges. Okay, so what and this about single, because they may in MCQ they may ask like this. Okay, they may given this circuit in my multiple choice questions for V in lesser than VR. For V in lesser than VR, what is the diode is off, then V out equal to VR. Okay, for V in greater than VR, diode is on, then V out equal to V in. So likewise, okay, likewise they may ask in MCQs. Suppose if they okay, even they may ask in 2 marks also draw the waveform of this. Okay, they may ask and they given the circuit, they must draw the waveform of this. Okay, again, and this another circuit. So these are about the clipper circuit with the Zener diodes. Next, a clamping circuit. Clamping circuit nothing but the DC restorer. The clamping circuit is nothing but a DC restorer, just clamping the circuit. Okay, just we are clamping. Okay, the positive side or negative side. Okay, negative side is a negative voltage clamping circuit. The circuit is like this. Okay, this is what positive voltage clamping circuits. Positive voltage clamping circuit. Okay. And next, coming to this multi-evaporators. So multi-evaporators, you know that it's nothing but non-sinusoidal waveforms. So without giving any input, which is going to produce non-sinusoidal. Without input is something called VCC, supply voltage, VCC, and there are 3 types of astable, monostable, and bistable multi-evaporators. Astable means 2 quasi-stable states. Okay, monostable 1 stable state and 1 quasi-stable state. Bistable means 2 states are stable. Okay, so 2 stable states. Okay, so stable state means what permanently off or permanently on, unless required to make transition from the switching states using some triggering mechanism. And quasi-stable state means active device cannot stay in this state permanently, or toggles to other state without help of external signal. That's called quasi-stable. So actually, you know that working principle of this collector coupled astable multivibrator, so that I'm not going in there. So this is about formula one equal to R1 C1. So you get 0.693 into R1 C1, 0.6 R2 and C2. If it is a symmetrical waveform, so R that is R1 equal to R2 equal to R, C1 equal to CT equal C. That is called what square waveform. If it is a symmetrical, that is T1 equal to T of. Okay, so that T equal to 2 into 0.693 RC, that is called 1.386 RC. If it is unsymmetrical, that T equal to 0.693 of R1 into C1 plus R2 into C2. So if you know that, we can find the frequency of oscillation. And duty cycle T1 divided by T1 plus 2, or some of the book they given T2 divided by T1 plus 2, both are right. Okay, what are maybe okay. So man, many of the book they refer using this T1 divided by T1 divided by T total time period. Okay, to ensure the oscillation, this is what condition: R1 less than or equal to HFE minimum to RC1, R2 less than or equal to HF minimum. Okay, okay, HF is what minimum value of DC current gain of transistors Q1 and Q2. So to ensure the oscillation, the value of resistance should satisfy these two conditions are very, very important. R1 value should be less than or equal to HF into RC1. Similarly, for R2 value, it should be less than or equal to HF into RC2. Okay. And next, monostable multivibrator. That is, monostable means we are applying one triggering signal at one base of the any one of the transistor or either collector side also. There are many methods are there to triggering this. Okay, and collector coupled astable multivibrator and collector coupled monostable multivibrator. Even the emitter coupled astable monostable multivibrator also there. So in order to avoid, because sometime the drawback of the collector coupled astable multivibrator, sometime the both transistor return on simultaneously. So in order to avoid that, they go for this emitter coupled astable multivibrator or emitter coupled monostable multivibrator. So there may be some, because so okay, you know that the transistor it should turn on based on what the cut-in based on cut-in voltage of between base to emitter junctions, between the base to emitter junction. Suppose if the base voltage is something called 0.5 volts, so in order to turn on the transistor, that base input base voltage should be greater than the what 1.1, because the emitter voltage is 0.5, the base voltage should be greater than what 1.1, then only the transistor will make turn on. Okay, so likewise, that is a concept we are going to use in the that is emitter coupled astable or monostable multivibrator in order to avoid the to turn on both transistors are simultaneous like that. Okay, and these are what designs. These are the steps to be followed to design about monostable multivibrators. Okay, these are all very easy if you go through this problem and okay, why you are using this formula, then only we can solve this many type of problems. So that before I am telling, I already told you many times. Okay, first understand the concept. That is the main aim. Okay, first understand the concept and then by heart the formulas. Okay, so if you know the formulas very well, okay, and then you can use that correct formula. Okay, there is plenty of formulas are there. Okay, you can choose the right one. You can choose the right form one to utilize and derive and calculate the result. Okay, and UJT relation oscillator is called the blocking oscillators. Okay, this frequency of oscillator in deriving the what UJT, unit junction transistor. Okay. Next, coming to this problem. So here RC low pass circuit as a R equal to 1.5 kilo ohm and C equal to 0.2 microfarad, and so what is the rise time of the output when excited base tripping? So very simple formula. TR equal to 2.2 into RC. 2.2 into RC, that is called 0.66 millisecond. 0.66 millisecond, and another one, an RC integrated circuits with an upper 3 dB cutoff frequency of 3 kHz and will respond to a step in with the rise time. Again, the formula is TR equal to 0.35 divided by F. So 0.35 divided by F2. F2 they given what 3 kHz. Direct substitution. You can calculate the rise time. So first one they given R and C value. They ask rise time value. And second one they given what upper 3 dB frequency. They ask what rise time. Okay. Similarly, find the delay time of BJT for bandwidth. Delay time is 0.11 divided by bandwidth. Same thing. Evaluate the bandwidth. Okay, they given rise time they asked to calculate the bandwidth. And another one for a low pass RC circuit. For a low pass, it is decide to pass a 2 millisecond sweep of a ramp input with less than 0.5% transmission error and determine the upper 3 dB frequency. Determine the upper 3 dB frequencies. Okay. So decide to pass a 2 millisecond sweep, that is called T. T equal to 2 milliseconds. And transmission error ET equal to 0.5%, that is called 0.5 divided by 100, that is called 0.005. And determine the upper 3 dB frequency. You know that this is the formula ET equal to RC divided by T. In low pass circuit, the transmission error formula is ET equal to RC divided by T. Okay. So RC equal to 1 by 2 pi f2. Now from that you can sub ET equal to, because they won't given RC, they given only what upper 3 dB frequency. So RC equal to what 1 by 2 pi f2. You can substitute here RC equal to 1 by 2 pi f2. So 1 by 2 pi f20. So now you know f2 really f2 they given so okay, that is called calculate and upper 3 dB frequency, that is 2 millisecond and 0.5 years, so that we calculate this, that is called 15.9 kilohertz. Sorry, f2 we are going to error then from to f2 we can calculate. Okay, error is 0.005 and t is 2 milliseconds. From that you can calculate f2. So you know ET and we know T. From that you can calculate f2. That is called 15.9. That is called upper 3 dB frequency. Okay. Next, calculate a lower 3 dB frequency for 10 kilohertz square wave is applied to high pass oscilloscope, producing the output a tilt of 3.8%. Okay, tilt of that is a slag of 3.8%. So that is again the formula. P equal to T divided by 2 into R1 into C1 into 100. That is 1 by 2 F into R1 and C and R by F1 by F into 100. Okay, you can use this formula based on that they given. So they given okay, they asked to find lower FT, that is they asked to find F1. They given F, that is F. So you can use this formula. Okay, there is no need is what R1 C1, so you can use this. So P equal to pi F1 divided by F into 100%. That is P equal to they given, that is 3.8%. That is called 3.8 divided by 100 is called 0.038. Okay, and F equal to 10 kilohertz. So from that we can calculate a F1. Okay, so you get 120.95. Okay. So again, this is the formula. If you know the formulas, it's very easy. Again, these are about 4 marks or 2 marks. Okay, as even they may have 6 marks also. Next, for low pass RC circuit, if a pulse of 0.4 microseconds required to pass without distortion, find the value of resistance if the capacitor is 0.001 microfarad. So TP equal to they given 0.4 microseconds. So that F2 equal to low pass means F2. Low pass RC means F2. F2 equal to 1 by 2P, that is called 2.5 megahertz. So RC equal to 1 by 2 pi F2. We know F2 and also the given C, they ask what R value. So R equal to 63.661. Okay, sometimes they given R value, they may ask what C value. Okay. So likewise they may ask. So first understand the problem. Okay, first understand the problem and note down the given values and then apply the formula. Okay, you can select the right formula. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, then only you can score very good marks in this subject. Okay. Again, this is what input voltage, the positive limit is triangular of 10 volt. 10 volts means that is 8 volts. Sorry, 8 volts peak to peak. 8 volts peak to peak means the average value is 0 means that is called minus 4 volt to 4 volt. So peak to peak is 8 volts. If the reference level is 2 volts, if the reference level is 2 volts, there is something called positive clipper. That is positive reference 2 volt. The output is will get like this. Okay. Same thing, develop a clipper circuit which clips all voltage above plus 2 volts. Okay, you can use anything. Okay. Okay, they want likewise. So same thing. So likewise, they may ask any question based on clippers, positive clippers, negative clippers, or biased clippers, or whatever maybe, even for the clampers. So again, calculate V0 for the clamping circuit for the 10 volts peak to peak. 10 volts peak to peak, that is minus 5 volts to 5 volts. Okay, again, so positive clamper. So output voltage is 0 volts, 10 volts. Okay, this is about positive clamper. So again, an astable multivaporator, they given R1, R2 equal to 10. This is what symmetrical square wave. So symmetrical means that is this is the formula 1T equal to 1.386 into RC. From that we calculate F equal to first calculate T and then calculate frequency of oscillation, that is F equal to 1 by T. Using the formula you can calculate this. Next, another one, analyze the value of capacitor to be used in astable multivaporator. It provides a train of pulses where at a repetition rate of 100 kilovolts if R1 equal to R2 equal to 20 kilo. So again, very important problem. Okay, may ask 8 marks or 6 marks. So T equal to 1 by F. Okay, because they given 100 kilovolts. So okay, so using this calculate total time T 1 by F, that is for 10 microsecond, and T1 equal to 2 microsecond. Okay, T1 equal to 2 microsecond for the given. And what about T2? T2 is what? T minus T1. That is called what? A, because T equal to what? T1 plus T2. Okay, one they given one train of pulse is 2 microsecond. We assume assign it as what? T1, and the remaining that 8 microsecond assigned what? T2. So this T2 equal to T minus T1. That is called 8 microsecond. So it's a what? Unsymmetrical square wave. So T1 equal to 0.693 into R1C1. Similarly, T equal to 0.69 to R2C2. So given R1 equal to R2 equal to 20 kilo ohm, and simply you can substitute, you can derive C1 value and C2 value. So next, designing a stable multivaporator to generate the pulse waveform the duty cycle 20 kilohertz using VCC equal to 10 volts and HF equal to 220 and IC saturation equal to 2 milliamps. They ask design what a stable multivaporator. So this is what circuit. So before going to design, first of all, you should know the circuit. Okay, you should remember that the circuit diagram. If you know the circuit diagram, then only you can able to design. Okay, what are the parameters are needed? Design this for a stable multivaporators. Okay, so this is what basic a stable multivaporator circuit. Okay, they given VCC equal to 10 volts and HF equal to 220 and IC saturated equal to 2 mil. Okay, they have to generate what 20 kilohertz. So here they given what duty cycle is what 40%. Okay, duty cycle is what 40%. That is we found 40% duty cycle. So 40% duty cycle means that is D equal to T1 by T. D equal to T1 by T. That is equal to T1 divided by T1 plus T2. Okay, that is equal to 0.4. 40 divided by 100, that is called 0.4. So on that, we calculate T1 equal to, that is cross multiply 0.4 and T1 plus 0.4 to T2. So from that, T1 equal to get 0.666 T2 and T2 equal to 1.5 T1. So based on the duty cycle, we can find the relationship between T1 and T2. So they given F equal to 20 kilohertz. So that T equal to 50 microseconds, T equal to 150 microseconds. So if T1 equal to 0.40, T1 that is here, that is T1 equal to 0.40, that is called 20 microsecond. If T1 equal to 20 microsecond, our T2 equal to what 30 microsecond. Okay, because T1 by T equal to what 0.4. So T1 equal to 0.40. So 0.4 into 50 microsecond, that is called 20 microsecond. So now assuming that they given VC saturation, you can assume either 0.3 volt or 0.2 volt. Okay, both are right only. Okay, in some book and it's okay. They given in some problem they can assume VC saturation 0.2 volts. In some problem they assume VC saturation 0.3. Okay, both are right only. You can assume either 0.2 volts or 0.3 volts. Similarly for VB saturation also you can assume either 0.6 or 0.7 volt. Okay, mostly they prefer 0.7 volt. So 0.6 also only right also. Okay, so VC saturation for this problem I assume VC is a 0.2 and VB saturation 0.7 volt. So they given IC saturation equal 2 million. They given IC saturation 2 millions, HF equal to 2 and RC. Okay, RC equal to, that is here. Okay, that is calculate this formula VCC minus VC saturation divided by S. Okay, RC means that I call it VCC minus VC saturation, that is 10 minus 0.2 divided by that is ICU 2 millions, that is called 4.9 kilo. Okay, if you know the RC, okay, we can calculate everything. And before that, you can calculate the base current using this formula IB equal to IC divided by HF. So IC is for 2 milliamps and HF is 220. That is from that IB equal to 9.09 microamps. So that R1 equal to VCC minus VB saturation divided by IB. Okay, so we can calculate R1. So for symmetry, you can assume R1 equal to R2 equal to 1.02 megaohm. So from that formula, T1 equal to 0.693 into R1 C1, T equal to 0.693 to R2 C2. From that, you calculate C1 and C2. So only thing this, if you know this, you will very easy. Okay. Okay, you can assume any one of the transistors make it as on. So suppose if it is on, that is called VCC minus VC2, VCC minus VC2 divided by RC2. So VC, that is VC2, that is called the 0.2 volts. Okay, fine. So VCC minus VC2 divided by RC. Okay. So from that you can calculate the RC2 value. Okay, from that you can calculate the RC2 value. Similarly, you can calculate based on this RC1 and VB2. Okay, RC1 and VB2, we can calculate what R1 value. You can make it as for R1 equal to R2. Okay, you can assume R1 equal to R2, and then you can derive remaining value, capacitor value C1 and C2. Okay, so this is called design of A-stable multivariable. Design of A-stable multivariable. Similarly, for the calculate the component values of monostable multivaporators on output pulse of 140 microsecond duration, assume HFE equal to 20, IC saturation 6 million, VC equal to 6 volt, and VBB equal to minus 1.5 volts. Okay, again the same thing for designing this. First of you should know that is called the voltage divider rule, that is called Kirchhoff voltage law and voltage divider rule, current divider rule. Okay, if you know the basic concept of this concept, that is particularly for voltage divider, KCL, KVL, and that is called KCL, KVL. Okay, especially KCL and KVL and voltage divider rule. Okay, if you know this, then only you can solve this problem very easily. Then only you can able to design. Okay, this is what main thing. Okay, otherwise very difficult. Okay, especially for that is KCL and KVL. That's very important. Okay, this is what very important for all this designing oriented, for especially for the case of multi-vibrators. Okay, so everything the same. Okay, because RCT, if you look at here, RCT equal to, that is VCC minus VC saturation. Look at here, VCC minus VC divided by IC saturation. Okay, from that we can RCT equal to RC1 equal. Now VC saturation equal to 0.3 volt. Assuming that AC saturation equal to 0.5 volt. Okay, so 6 minus, okay, VCC given 6 minus 0.3 divided by IC saturation is something called they given that is 6 milliamps. So that will calculate 950. If you know that IC saturation, calculate IBT saturation because they given HFE. So because IC equal to what? Beta into IB. That is IB equal to IC divided by HFE. Okay, IC equal to HF into IB or beta into IB. So 6 milliamp divided by 20, so that will 0.3. Okay. So same thing. Okay. So again, so IB1 equal to IBT equal to same 0.3 milliamp saturation. Now we calculate RC. R equal same thing, VCC minus VB saturation divided by IB. Similarly, okay, what we discussed on the AS table, the same concept. Okay, nothing will be changed. Okay, nothing will be changed. VCC minus VB saturation divided by IB2 will get something. Okay, so at quasi stable state on one of the transistor on another transistor, so that T equal to 0.693 IC. So substitute, you can see, you get C. Okay, so R will derive 17.67 kilo ohm, and substitute you can derive what C. Okay. Okay, next, and similarly for other cases, for if you are applying that triggering signal value, so that IB1 saturation equal to IBRR2. So we are showing the current direction. Can you look at this direction? Okay, these current directions are very important. Okay, if you know, that's why I told, if you know the concept of this, then only you can able to solve everything. Okay, so IB1 saturation plus IR2 will get like this. Similarly, you can calculate this R1 of this. Okay, and R2 of this, and the speed of the capacitor. Okay, speed of the capacitor C1 is shown that R1 C1 equal to microsecond, so that we get 0.127 microsecond. Okay, so similarly for the bistable multivaporators, right, the same way. Okay, so only thing, if you know the concept, if you know that especially for voltage divider current, KCL and KVL. Okay, if you know that KCL and KVL, the remaining everything is simple. Okay, you can calculate the remaining thing. Okay, the same way you can calculate, and you can derive the values. Okay, estimate a stable state current, that is called IB, IC. Okay, we can calculate this. That's all. Okay, that is called stable current. IC1, IC2, and IB1 and IB2. Okay. Similarly, for the schematic trigger circuits. Okay. Nothing is there. Only thing, this formula, and I think if you take this problem seriously, it will take nearly 30 and 40 minutes because okay. Likewise, there are many problems also there, and the blocking oscillators are there. Okay. So because of, I think, sir, shall I continue our time up now? 50, I think 5:20. All along, sir. Yes, sir. I think 5:20, sir. Shall I continue or shall I stop this now?
Ma'am?
Sir, you can continue, sir. Continue.
Okay,
Sir,
ma'am.
able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. So next, schematic trigger circuits. So you know that for the schematic trigger, you know that UTP, upper threshold voltage and lower threshold voltage. Okay. So which is used to convert any sine wave into square waveform, perfect square waveform with different t on and t of period. Okay. So give any waveform, convert any waveform into perfect square waveform with varying t on and t of. So for the schematic resistor, they given VCC equal to 10 volts and UTP equal 5 volts and LTP equal 3 volts, and IC on equal 1 milliamps and HFE minimum equal to 100. Okay, these are what the given parameters. So UTP, that is called VB2 equal, assuming it has 5 volts, VB2 equal to 5 volts. Okay, now V equal to VB2 minus VBE. Okay, V equal to VB2. Okay, so based on this circuit, sorry. So based on the circuits, okay, you can derive this. Okay, we can derive. So, and also you should know that the current flow direction. Okay, this is called IC1 plus I1. This is called I1. Okay, this is called IE and this is called IC. Okay, IC is approximately IC. Okay, and this is called I2 and IB2. Okay, this is called I. Okay, so likewise, that is I1 equal to something called I2 plus IB2. Okay, I2 plus IB2. Okay, so based on this, now V equal to VB2 minus VB2 minus VB, VB2 minus and VBE. Okay, so we'll get a 4.3 volts. Okay, and IE mostly IE emitter current is approximately to collector current, that is called what, 1 milliamps. 1 milliamps. So that we can calculate emitter resistance RE equal to VE divided by IE. So V is what, 4.3 and IE is what, 1 milliamps. That is called 4.3 kiloohms. Next, VC saturation equal to 0.3 volts. Okay, so so that IC into RC2, IC into RC2 equal VCC minus VE minus VC saturation. Okay, IC into RC2. Okay. I in RC2 minus VCC minus VC saturation minus and VE. Okay, minus the VE. So this is called VCE, VC saturation and minus VCE. Okay, so that's why you should know this, that KCL and KVL. Okay, if you don't know, it's very difficult. Okay, if you don't know that KCL and KVL, it's very difficult to do. So okay, VCC and minus VE minus VC saturation, that is IC is in the RC2. Okay, so VCC what 10 and VE just now that is called 4.3 and VC is what, of 0.3 volts. VC is called what, a 0.3 volt. So we calculated because of VB2 minus the cut-in voltage. So look at here. That means VB2. Okay, VB2 is 5 volts and VB base emitter voltage 0.6 volt. That is 5 minus 0.7. That is called what, 4.3. Okay, that is called what, emitter voltage. Okay, that is called what, emitter voltage. Okay, 4.3 volt divided by that emitter current, that is emitter current approximately collector current, that's why you get emitter resistance. From that we can calculate this IC into RC equal to VCC minus VCE saturation and minus and V. Okay, so the same way we can derive this. Okay, so I am not using any other formula, just I am using the what voltage divider rule, or that is called KVL and KCL. That's all. Okay. Similarly, for I2 equal to this for, and they sometimes they won't given, sometimes they given. If you are not given, so you can assume I2 equal to 0.1 into IC2. Similarly, for the R2 equal to same thing, VB2 divided by I2. Okay, VB2 divided by I2 will get 15 kilo ohm. So based on this, and IB2 equal to IC2 divided by HFE minimum, so that will get 10 microohm. So that I1 equal to, so based on current divider rule. Okay, I1 equal to I2 plus IB2. So IB2 will be calculated and I2 will be calculated, so that can substitute here. Okay, we'll be substitute here, so we'll get I1 0.1 milliamps. Okay, next, so I1 equal to, again based on if you can calculate RC1 plus R1. Okay, so I1 into RC1 plus R1, if you look at this, okay, I1 into RC1 plus R1, so you look at here. Okay, IC1 plus I1 to RC1 and R1, so that we can, based on this, we can calculate this RC1 R1, just so that I'm using this. Okay, RC1, so IC1 plus RC1 plus R into I1 equal to VCC minus VP2, that is VCC minus VP2. So okay, so from that you can calculate RC1 plus R1 equal to 45.415. So when Q1 is on and Q1 is on, and BA will become what, LTP, so that in that case VB2 equal to 3 volts. So that I1 equal to 3 divided by and RP2, that is B2, that is RP is 15 kilo ohm, that is called 60 microohms. The similar way you can derive thing. The similar way you can substitute, and okay, we can substitute, you can get like this RC1, R1 and RB. Okay, RC1. Okay, this is what design values of the schematic trigger value. Okay. Okay, that's all about this. So okay, so for this topic you should thorough this, that KCL and KVL. Okay, so particularly for electric circuits, if you know the concept of electric circuit, this problem will become very easy. Otherwise very difficult. Okay, because only thing we are struggling in this problem. Okay, because of what, that if you don't know that concept of KCL and KVL, especially for electric circuit, okay, it's very difficult to solve. It's a major problem to you. Okay, because the EEE people, they have to solve this everything, but EC people, they are failed only because of this. They failed only because of these electric circuits. Okay, because they, while studying itself, okay, they felt this is what EEE subject, this is not electronic subjects. Okay, don't take it as, okay, don't take like this. Okay, and all subjects are very important, because all the concept you are going to use for many subject, not only for particular electrical subject, it can be used for electronics or even for the communications or anything. Okay, so that the concept is very important for electric. If you will know about the electric circuit, it's very easy for solving this. Okay, remaining everything, because you know that cut-in voltage, everyone knows that cut-in voltage, and also calculate you know that IC equal to beta into IB, or HF into IB, or VCC equal, that is IC equal to VCC minus VC divided by RC. Okay, these are all basic formulas, you know that. Okay, so these are, everyone, we should know how the transistors are going to act as amplifier, like that. Okay, everyone know this, but apart from this, okay, if the circuit become complicated, very difficult. Okay, many of the students, so circuit they look the circuit, if it is complex one, they leave it out. Okay, don't like take like, because if you are doing the main projects, if you are going for producing any chip, these are all what very basic fundamentals. That's all about, ma'am. Okay, and if you have any queries, students. Okay, I covered only very few things. I think a lot of topics are there, lots of problems are there. Okay, and they have many triggering circuits are there. Okay, they have different types of triggering circuit, for in the case of monostable, in the case of bistable also. Okay, so if you refer the book, very easy to understand the concept, particularly for Salivagana. You can refer the Bakshi also, is also good. Okay, especially for both Salivagana and Bakshi is enough to you to score very good marks. Okay, if you want to refer more on this, you can go for that something called and Cedron Smith. Even Cedron Smith also they amount given as much like that. Okay, as much like that. So better you can go for go to this Salivaganan and okay. Thank you all. You have any queries about any doubts?
Thanks for the wonderful session, sir. It was very knowledgeable and insightful
Thank you, ma'am.
information, sir. Now we have come to question and answer session. Raghavi will take over the question and answer session. Over to you, Raghavi.
Thank you, Anita. Sir, we have some queries from our participants. The first question is,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
what are the steps we should remember while solving a problem and how to cross-tick the problem, sir?
What are the?
What are the steps we should remember while solving a problem and how to cross-tick the problem?
So the all formulas are very important. Okay, if you go through the concept, if you go through for any single tune amplifier or multivibrator, okay, even though that they given something called Z equal to L by R, okay, L by RC or bandwidth equal to FR by Q or whatever may be. All the formulas are very important, especially if you go for multi-vibrator or single tune amplifier for designing purpose. Better you can go for step by step because that one is very easy.
Next question, sir. What is the reason for instability in tuned amplifier?
Okay, because of they have some interjunction capacitance. Okay, interjunction capacitance. That's why we give the instability.
Next question, sir. What is the difference and advantages of double tuned amplifier over single tuned amplifier?
Double tuned amplifier, the bandwidth is very high compared to the single tuned amplifier. That is the advantage of that. Okay. Single tune is about narrow band. Suppose if you are going to design some application, okay, which is require more bandwidth, then we can use what we can go for double tune amplifiers.
Last question, sir. What are the conditions of biasing for an ideal and practical diode?
So ideal means cut-in voltage we can take it as 0, and practical means we can take cut-in voltage equal to either 0.6 or 0.7. Okay, anything you can take it. Okay, it's better to go for 0.6 volt cut-in voltage of diode. Practical for the ideal, the cut-in voltage equal to 0.
Sir, due to time limitations, we will mail the remaining questions to you. And students, you will receive the answers for your query. Thanks for answering all the questions, sir. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Raghavi. Just to thank you is a mighty powerful prayer, say it all. May I call upon Miss Lalita to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Lalita.
Thank you, Anita. Good evening, everyone. To the excellent speaker, respected principal, our beloved vice principal come HOD ma'am, our professors, and my dear friends, I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks for today's webinar. First of all, let me give glory to Almighty God for making today's webinar a grand success. We are greatly grateful for speaker Dr. Uday Kumar sir, Associate Professor, Department of ECE in SRM Valiamma Engineering College, for visiting and enlightening us with his immense knowledge. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting things. It gave deep insights into the topic and also relieved some interesting facts. The informations where Sir told us about tuned amplifiers and multivibrators was really informative. I am pretty sure the precious knowledge that Sir gave us will definitely help us in our studies and future. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Uday Kumar sir for taking out his time from his busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. And beyond the content, from your problem solving, we have got more courage to face our exams, sir. And your presentation have improved our confidence level to score more marks. Thank you so much, sir. The value of college education. Thank you, sir. The value of college education is not the learning of many facts, but the training of mind to think. So I take this opportunity to thank our respected principal, Dr. Sujata Anand ma'am, and my sincere gratitude to our beloved Vice Principal cum HOD, Dr. L. Nalini Joseph ma'am, for her support and bringing out the speaker for this wonderful session. And my heartfelt thanks to the coordinators who helped us with proper guidance, and I also want to thank the student committee who really worked hard to make the webinar successful. I heartily congratulate all the participants for their active participation in this event. No program can become successful with a single person. So I extend my big thanks to our department. Once again, I thank you everyone who all are gathered here and made this event a successful one. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Anita.